Bande Matram. Welcome all of you to this session of Savitri summarization. Here we are going to have a meaningful discussion on Satyavan had passed from her embrace. That is the topic of discussion. It is really book 8. Initially, it was there was 3 cantos we have seen already in the earlier version of Savitri. Here, the only canto we have taken it book 8 canto 3. That is the only canto we find here. Death in the forest. So here the great debacle we are seeing from the outward point of view, because Satyavan is facing his so-called fatal death in the forest. The predicted hour, estimated prefigured hour, time and space are there. It is the time, this is the day when Satyavan must die, and it is the day already we will see that Satyavan is dead. We can see in a clear way in the last 2 lines Sri Aurobindo has quoted on Savitri's experience, of course, realization. She knew that visible death was standing there. She knew that visible death was standing there, and Satyavan had passed from her embrace. So, that is the topic of discussion. Beautiful topic. Book 8. We'll see now, right now, death in the forest. Let us quote few lines from Savitri, Sri Aurobindo's magnum opus Savitri. These golden lines we'll see, and later we'll try go for the summarization. Now it was here in this great golden dawn, again golden dawn. By her still sleeping husband Len, she gazed into her past as one about to die. The one sitting near the sleeping Satyavan and estimating, of course, it is seeing in her vision Satya, one who is about to die. Looks back upon the sunlit fields of life, looks back how this years with the golden raiment has passed off. So looks back upon the sunlit fields of life, here golden dawn and the sunlit fields of life, where he too ran and spotted with the rest, lifting his head above the huge dark stream, lifting his head above the huge dark stream, into whose depths he must forever plunge. He had seen how he has raised his head, and of course, this out of the depth he has raised his golden head now, into whose depths he must forever plunge, because destined time and space are near. All he had been and done, she lived again. All she had been and done, she lived again. The whole year was a swift and adding race. Swift and adding race, because it is the future knowledge predicted one, and of course the year 1 year only after, maybe so called, if you feel this is the spiritual marriage wedding, but the thing is that it is in the human field, human form in this struggling world. So happy days move swift and in adding race of memories swept through her and fled away into the irrecoverable past. That time, it has passed, slipped up towards the irrecoverable past. Then silently she rose and the service done. She has to confront, she has to face, she must war against the unseen, unknown destiny that is awaiting on the path, and the time is already before her. Silent service done, bowed down to the great goddess simply carved by Satyavan upon a forest stone. We normally pray the gods, maybe with a form or formless, but here bowed down, this is the formed god, to a great goddess, that is little better we can see, great goddess simply carved by Satyavan upon a forest stone. What prayer she breathed, her soul and Durga knew, prayer unknown, she only knows what prayer she offered to the goddess. Perhaps she felt in the dim forest hues. When this Durga is, of course, represented here, this great goddess, and later it is known as Durga in capital letters. So we expect this is the great Durga. I am Durga, goddess of the proud and strong, so maybe representing, we can take probably Durga. She was offering her prayer, Savitri was offering her the prayer, and worship to Durga, maybe. Perhaps he felt in the dim forest hues. Perhaps he felt in the dim forest hues, huge dim forest. The infinity mother watching over her child again. She felt, she can feel, the infinity mother watching over her child. Perhaps the shrouded voice spoke some still word. Shrouded voice, so imagine, voice is shrouded, voice with a capital V, spoke some still word. At last, she came to the pale mother queen after finishing the daily oblations and all, prayer, worship, and meditation. She is coming to the pale mother queen, the human mother of Satyavan, and the wife and the queen of Dyumachan, chief queen. So she spoke, but with guarded lips and a tranquil face, lest some guarded lips and a tranquil face, lest some stray word or some betraying look, two things. Guarded lips, tranquil face, lest some word, that is stray word or some betraying look, should let pass into the mother's unknowing breast, very careful in choosing words and looks, slaying all happiness and the need to live. That mother queen may lose interest, have some confusion, doubt. A dire foreknowledge of the grief to come, she may, the mother queen may anticipate in her look and wordings. All else she pressed back into her anguished heart and forced upon her speech into an outward peace. Inwardly it was very much clear, but outwardly she is that much clear and, of course, very much cool. What was her guided speech? How she is expressing the words? That voice will try to little bit hear at least her that those voice of Savitri. 1 year that I have lived with Satyavan, that year is gone. 1 year I have lived with that I have lived with Satyavan here on the emerald edge of the vast woods. In the iron ring of the enormous peaks under the blue depths of the forest sky. Just imagine somebody is going to lose the counterpart maybe within some few seconds or maybe couple of hours. That is her voice, so calm, so tranquil. I have not gone into the silences entire whole year. She has not gone into the silences, but now the newly wedded couple, maybe on the second day after the first look, they are preparing for a honeymoon trip somewhere. I have not gone into the silences of this great woodland that enringed my thoughts, great woodland that enringed my thoughts with a mystery, nor in its green miracles wondered. I have not gone there. I have not seen the mystery. I have not found the miracles, wondered in the miracles of the green woods. But this small clearing was my world. Here, everything I stay contented. This was my world. Now, what is the next step? Now a strong, now has a strong desire seized all my heart. Desire seized all my heart. This is divine desire, strong desire, because it is going to change the ever written story, the entire clear written story. It is to be changed to this now. This is the strange desire. Seized all my heart to go with Satyavan, holding his hand into the life that has loved, that he has loved, holding his hand into the life that he has loved, and the touch herbs he has trod. The herbs he has trod, I will touch, and know the forest flowers, and hear at edge the birds and the scurrying life that starts and ceases, reach far rustle of boughs. I want to see entire green woodlands, flowers, touch the herbs, so and so. I want to go with him and see the life. And the mystic whispering of the woods, mystic whispering of the woods, release me now and let me have heart have rest. Release me now and let my heart have rest. Then what is the reply from the mother queen? That is also so potentially so tender. You can imagine how it is. Just imagine how the tender words from the mother queen is coming. Do as thy wise mind desires. Just imagine. Here, when your sas and your mother-in-law, when you are asking for permission, nobody actually asks the permission. It is up to the bride and the bridegroom. They decide their fate, the course of action, where to wander, how to enjoy. Everything is theirs. Now, do as thy wise mind desires. O child, calm child, sovereign with the eyes that rule. Just imagine how Savitri has been described beautifully. O calm child, sovereign with the eyes that rule. I hold thee for a strong goddess. I hold thee, not an ordinary human figure. Abala, Durbala, weak, and of course, lady, in which way you describe. I hold thee for a strong goddess who has come pitying our barren days. Our days are barren, and you have come here into these barren days, and pitying on us. So dost thou serve even as a slave might, working not as a daughter of the queen or maybe daughter-in-law or something, but as even as a slave might serve. Yet art thou beyond all that thou hast, thou doest all your minds conceive, like the strong sun that serves earth from above. Everything I can feel, even as the servant you are serving, slave you are serving, that you are child sovereign, you have the wise mind, you have come like a, you seem to be a strong goddess, like a strong sun that serves earth from above, like a strong sun that serves from above, you are same thing. Then actually then the doomed husband and woman who know went with linked hands into the solemn world, where beauty and grandeur and unspoken dream, where nature's mystic silence could be felt. Into the depth of nature, into the heart of nature, both are going, moving hand in strong hand linked with linked hands, communing with the secrecy of God. Then what is happening, how they are moving. First time they are moving into the jungle. This is a ancestral story. Of course this story has been written maybe, of course, 100 years back around. Beside her Satyavan walked full of joy, because with the newborn lady, already I have shown you, I have told you, this is of course I have yesterday I have quoted spiritual romanticism. Nothing relates to human being, but it is written in the human way only. Then beside her Satyavan walked full of joy, because she moved with him through his green haunts, with her into the nature of the natural scenario of the jungle he is moving. He showed her all the forest riches, flowers, innumerable in every odor and hue, whatever with all of which he is familiar, not for days, maybe for years. And the soft, thick, clinging creepers, red and green, and the strange, rich plumaged birds at to every cry that haunted sweetly, distant boughs reply, with the shrill singer's name more sweetly called. So they are moving on the way. Let us first summarize the initial portion, then we'll go for the next course of discussion. I will read later. So this is book 8. We know already, we have discussed. This is book 8, and it is of course only one canto, but it has been designated as canto 3, book 3 canto, book 8 canto 3, Death in the Forest. So on the fateful day, on the same day, at dawn in the morning, Savitri looked back into her past that is gone, relieves all that she has been underdone. Whatever has been done, that is chapter is closed. She bows down to the goddess Durga. Just now we saw bowed down to goddess Durga and praise. Then she approaches the queen mother and obtains her consent to accompany Satyavan into the forest that day. Nobody knows what is going to happen in the forest, in the same place, same space, and the same day. What is going to happen? But the thing is that at least that foreknowledge was with Savitri. So far that area is concerned. Both Satyavan and Savitri go into the forest hand in hand. He is showing her all along the varied reaches of the forest, whatever he is acquainted, already familiar. Speaking of the things he loved there, Savitri, aware of the impending doom, treasures every word that falls from her lips. Then we'll go little bit, we'll read little bit, then we'll find the prescribed meaning, whatever is their hidden meaning. He spoke of all the things he loved. Spoke of all things he loved. They were his boyhood's comrades and his playfellows. Boyhood's play comrades and playfellows. That's what he has already put it from days he's familiar. Quibbles and companions of his life here in this world whose every mood he knew. Here in this world, whose every moment he knew, their thoughts which to the common mind are blank. Normal mind living in ordinary consciousness, they can't know, but actually Satyavan knew because his sadhana had the depth. He said, to every wild emotion felt, then an answer felt to every wild emotion felt an answer. Deeply she listened, but to hear the voice that soon would cease from tender words. Because time, life now in seconds, not in hours. Everything will pass off, and tender words will go collapse within maybe very soon. And the treasure of its sweet cadence beloved for a lonely memory which none by her wagged, and the beloved voice could speak no more. This is the treasure, and it may not be because she has come with the mission. She has to rewrite the history, but thing is that it to the outward eye it seems in some few seconds everything will be seized. But little dwelt her mind upon their sense, little dwelt her mind upon their sense of death, not life. She thought her life has an end. Life's alone end. So what happens there? Um, After listening everything, perhaps her feeling is like that now perhaps his voice will cease forever. His voice will cease forever because unless otherwise the thing has been accomplished. Unless otherwise it is done, nobody can expect what is going to happen. Even by some vague touch oppressed, sometimes her eyes looked around as if their orbs might see the dim and dreadful God's approach. Expecting, it is expected, prefigured, predestined, and the eyes are moving around if the dreadful goddess, as if the dim and the dreadful gods approach, maybe they are somewhere near, anytime it can come. But Satyavan had paused. He meant to finish his labor there, here, that happy, linked, uncaring, that who might wander free in the green and deep primeval mystery of the forest art. Satyavan is not at all understanding anything because he is totally unaware or little bit conscious, little bit apprehend, little bit actually guessing. So he feels everything the work I must complete up soon. Then we'll in linked hands we'll spend further time inside the dim woods. A tree that raised its tranquil head to heaven, luxuriating and in verdure, summoning the breeze with amorous wideness of the boughs. Nature's description that the beautiful terms, beautiful wordings, beautiful scenario we feel here. He chose and with steel assailed the arm, brown, rough and strong, hidden in its emerald dress, going to get wood. Wordless but near she watched, no turn to lose of the bright face and the body which she loved. Bright face and the body which she loved, she is not intending to lose, but the thing is that it has to because it is destined. She knows, she has the foreknowledge. Her life now in seconds was now in seconds, not in hours. Any moment it can happen. It is economizing the time, predicting, estimating. It is now in seconds, not in hours. Her life was now in seconds, not in hours. At every moment she economized. That's what I was trying to tell you, speak to you. Like a pale merchant leaned above his store, pale merchant, like a pale merchant leaning over above his store. The miser of the poor remaining gold. Everything is going wasted. Things there is no more, no chance. Things are passing from her. Miser of his living, remaining poor, remaining gold leaned above his store. But Satyavan wielded a joyous axe She knows not. She is not that much conscious. She knows not the future. Packed with joy, with the presence of his soul, Savitri. He sang high snatches of the sages chant. Just this is the difference between the human adventure and adventure of Satyavan and Savitri. Chanting high snatches of a sage's chant that appealed of conquered death and the demons slain. Just imagine what is going to happen here in the courts. That chanting pealed of conquered death and of demons slain, and sometimes paused to cry to her sweet speech of love and mockery tenderer than love. Because this is a little bit described in the human sensations, but thing is that there is a spiritual, of course we can find spiritual romanticism hidden deep inside his speech. She, like a panthers, lived upon his words, like a panthers lived upon his words and carried them into her cavern heart. But as he worked, his doom upon him came. He work means collecting the woods. He is actually cutting the woods. But as he worked, his doom upon him came. The violent and the hungry hounds of pain travelled through his body, biting as they passed silently, and all suffering breath besieged, strove to rend life's strong heart cords and be free. See, there is the assail, invisible attack. Then helped, as if a beast had left its prey. A moment in a wave of rich relief, reborn to strength and happy age he stood, rejoicing and resumed his confident toiling, because he knows not what is going to happen, what is really happening, but some pain has started, there is unseen attack. Then he can hewed his arms, he flung away the poignant axe far from him like an instrument of pain. Now she feels it is the beginning of the pain. She came to him in silent anguish and clasped, because Savitri knows, understands, she feels, have the foreknowledge which entirely Satyavan is not having, and that pain has started attack its own. So he cried to her, Savitri, a pang cleaves through my head and the breast as if the axe were piercing it and not the living branch. When I cut the branch, this great actually sharp axe is piercing through the maybe the branch. So as it is getting the pain, so like something is actually piercing into my heart. Such agony rends me as the tree must feel when it is sundered and must lose its life. That feeling, that sensation, that sickness, that pain is being felt. Awhile let me, be very interesting three lines we can quote here. Awhile let me lay my lay my head upon thy lap. Awhile, let me lay my head my upon thy lap, and guard me with thy hands from evil fate. Perhaps because thou touchest, death may pass. So it is the big words here. Satyavan has, of course, expressed in his anguished lips in the 11th moment when the pain has already started. Just listen once again. Awhile, let me lay my head upon thy lap, number one, and guard me when I am laying my head upon thy lap. Then what you have to do? And guard me with thy hands from evil fate. Then, if those are done, perhaps because thou touchest, death may pass. So I will not die with if and only if you allow me to keep my head upon thy lap and you touch me, and of course you protect my life from the evil fate. Whatever we have gone through, let us have a glance, then we'll go further. Satyavan starts axing a tree for fuel, and as he works, he signs the snatches of sages chant on the conquest of the death and the slaying of evil. But as he proceeds, he is overcome by sudden shooting pains. As he but as he proceeds with this work of cutting wood for fuel, he is overcome by sudden shooting pains all over his body. He throws away the axe and seeks Savitri's support. Throws away his axe and seeks Savitri's support. She clasps him and tries to soothe his pain, but slowly his color changes. He is being totally under the possession of on this unknown death. And he utters his last cry, seeking for her kiss. She presses her lips upon his, but he fails to respond. It is gone. So let us see what is happening. She guarded him as in her bosom and strove to soothe. Then his anguished brow and body with her hands. All grief and fear were dead within her now. Grief and fear within her is dead now. And a great calm had fallen. She knows things are there. She knows the real scenario and the real future, what is going to happen. The wish to lessen his suffering and impose that opposes pain. She tried in all the ways so that this suffering can be lessened and the pain must be impelled to go. Where the one mortal feeling left, it passed. Graceless and strong, she waited like the gods. In this scenario, just imagine somebody's so-called partner or husband is on the brink of death. Almost it is gone. How she would be tearful, anguished, broken. So many terms you can use, but here about the Savitri. Griefless and strong, she waited like the gods, but now his sweet familiar hue had changed, tarnished, changing into a tarnished greyness, and his eyes dimmed over forsaken of the clear light she loved. Because you know that hue is changing, life is slipping back. Still, then she is griefless and strong. She is waiting like the gods. Only the dull and physical mind was left, vacant of the bright spirit's luminous gaze. Then a cry is coming. He cried out in a clinging last despair. He cried out in a clinging last despair. Savitri, Savitri, oh Savitri, lean down my soul and kiss me while I die. This is the relation of Savitri and Satyavan we have taken in the human sentiment, human thought, human mind. It's something like a lover, beloved, husband, one wife. Here, be clarified with these two lines. Savitri, Savitri, oh Savitri, lean down my soul, lean down, is on the top, so lean down, and kiss me while I die. And even as her pallid lips pressed his failed, losing last sweetness of response. No response, time is actually ticking away from from her. His cheek pressed down her golden arm. She sought his mouth still with her living mouth, as if she could persuade his soul back with her kiss, but all in vain. All tried in all the ways, but all in vain. Then grew aware they were no more alone. See, this is the feeling now itself, with almost at the 11th phase, it is gone. So something had come there, conscious, vast, and dire. She felt they too are not there alone. Something had come there, conscious, not unconscious, conscious, vast, and dire. Near her she felt a silent shade, immense silent shade she felt. Chilling the noon with darkness for its back, chilling the noon with the presence, the noon is chilled. Then an awful hush had fallen upon the place, that place. There is a silence, awful silence had fallen upon the place. There was no cry of birds, even when physically, outwardly, you have seen when death comes, everything things becomes silent, hushful, dim. Like this, you can feel the scenario. Here also, same thing, but actually, it is the greater description from Sri Aurobindo. An awful hush had fallen upon the place. There was no cry of birds, no voice of beast. And moreover, this death, so-called estimated death, is not the ordinary death, because you know love and death conspire towards a great end. So there is a conspiracy. His death is the beginning of a greater life. So this is the human scenario, but actually it is the divine lila here. There, and moreover, when divine event is going to be going to happen, and it is a great time for that one. So, a terror and an anguish filled the world. Terror and anguish filled the world. There was no cry of birds, no voice of beasts. As if annihilation's mystery had taken a sensible form. Annihilation's mystery had taken a sensible form. A cosmic mind looked out on all from the formidable eyes, condemning all with its unbearable gaze. Then you can find later the wordless meaning of its deep regard, voicing the unreality of things and a life that would be forever and never was. And its brief and vain recurrence without cease, as if from a silence without form of name, as if from a silence without form or name, the shadow of a remote, uncaring God, doomed to his not the illusory universe. We know Maya, the entire I am Maya, the universe is my cheat, entire thing is shadowed. The shadow of a remote, uncaring God, shadow, capital S. Remote, uncaring God doomed to his not the illusory universe. Cancelling its show of idea, act in time, and the imitation of eternity. That time, what is the feeling? Final feeling is already we have quoted in the initial two lines. She knew that the visible death was standing there. That presence, the great presence of the visible death was standing there. Nothing invisible, nothing shadow. Here is the she knew that visible death was standing there and Satyavan had passed from her embrace. Most of the time we find that Devagana, Jamagana, Jamadutta and all they come, his messengers. But here, visible death was standing here and standing there, and Satyavan had passed from her embrace. So just imagine how the scenario will be. Anyway, let us conclude within a couple of lines so we can find here that glorious discussion here. She grows aware that they were no more alone. Something chilling, some chilling shadow. The shadow, how it is, chilling shadow has appeared. There is a hush and terror all around. Hush and terror all around. Death is standing there, and Satyavan had passed. So this is the real scenario we quote here, we see here. The long-awaited drama. It is, of course, a spiritual drama, spiritual lila, spiritual romance. Everything we find, all are actually gathered in a single canto. Here you can find description of nature, death, the visibility of the presence of death, and the real scenario when the death is, of course, approaching. The spoken words between the Mother Queen and Savitri, the great worship by Savitri, everything has been accomplished here. Well organized way, in a well organized way, it has been written, inscribed in this canto. Of course, it is a small one, but it contains a great practical importance here that we have seen. So, in the normal vision, it is not, of course, a description of the normal human love between beloved and a lover, or the mother-in-law and, of course, daughter-in-law. It is all the lila, and it is a great description from the great yogi, Mahayogi. So, you can find a lot of ups and downs throughout the discussion. This is a truly a significant description, and you can know in the very spiritual vision how great really it is. If somebody, even if I was also on one time I was confusing why Sri Aurobindo used to this description in the human way, but later maybe with the couple of decades I had to spend yeah, and I had to work on it. And when I got a little bit opened consciousness, I was able to know everything is spiritual, everything is inscribed here, spirit with illumined with the spiritual romanticism. Anyway, we will try to enjoy Vande Mataram.